8 staff of the Ombudsman Commission received titles and keys to new homes. PNGDF purchases 6 new aircraft to boost capacity. And Eda Ranu warns Moresby residents not to be reckless.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Tuesday's news. Minister for Housing and Urban Development Paul Ezekiel today handed over house keys and titles to the Ombudsman Commission for its staff. This is the first housing project to be delivered by National Housing Estate Limited, the business arm of the National Housing Corporation. Minister Ezekiel said the handover was just the start of many housing projects in the country.
The 3 million Kina Ombudsman Commission housing project is located at Yangoru 3B2 in Port Moresby. Each of the houses are worth between 200,000 and 300,000 Kina, complete with basic furniture and white goods. Present at the handover ceremony were staff of the Ombudsman Commission, counterparts in the law and justice sector, NHEL and its business partners Berkeley Capital and Korea New Guinea Housing, and other stakeholders. NHEL's executive chairman Kevin Ahipum said this was the first project delivered by NHEL.
Though it is small, this is to signify that the National Housing Estate is in progress to build or to progress other projects of the similar magnitude or more mega projects in this regard, from strength to strength.
Minister for Housing and Urbanization Paul Ezekiel said that with housing projects like this one, the government is encouraging nationals to own their own homes as well as to create wealth.
Government in its wisdom wanted to ensure that we provide housing for its people. We've started a major project in Duran Farm where we will realize and deliver 5,000 houses.
The keys for 8 of the houses, together with state leases and titles, were presented by NHEL to the Housing Minister and then on to Acting Chief Ombudsman Phoebe Sangetari.
Many of our officers live in the settlements, or they live with relatives or friends, and it's quite a challenge on them to be able to manage their welfare and be able to give their best to the commission. And on top of that, the kind of work that the officers of the commission do, a risky job, let me put it that way, risky stuff. We do investigations, and our officers are left to fend for themselves, and so all these factors, we took all that into account, and we thought we must get into institutional housing, build housing for our staff.
The ceremony was followed by the official blessing of the estate and ribbon cutting. The other key projects of the NHEL are the 800 million Kina Gabutu Palace project to be developed with Korean partners and a 35 million Kina Gobuta Street Estate with Berkeley Capital, expected to be completed by April this year. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
While it's good news for some, others in rundown NHC properties have been issued notices of eviction. Tenants living in the National Housing Corporation property at Engau Drive, Boroko, are questioning the authenticity of the eviction notice. They are refusing to accept a copy of the eviction notice, which states that they are to vacate the premises to make way for new development.
The tenants of the National Housing Corporation duplexes in Boroko, Engau Drive, had received a copy of an eviction notice advising them to evict the house for other development plans. This has raised several questions on the basis of the eviction. Tenants question why they had not been served the original copy and why it was not signed by the National Housing Corporation Managing Director.
Our concern is that there was no consultation. National Housing Corporation never came up to us in advance to tell us what their plans or intentions are about these flats. All we knew is that one day they pop up and give us a 14-day notice to vacate the premises. When we did not do that, they gave us another 48-hour notice after the 14-day notice.
The eviction notice stated that the NCD health inspectors condemned the property due to current rundown conditions. However, the tenants who have been residing there for more than 20 years said they have not seen the NCDC health inspectors come in to inspect the area.
We never had any health inspectors come here to investigate. We never had any notice of condemnation. So where was this coming from?
EMTV brought the matter to the managing director of the National Housing Corporation, who clarified that although the eviction notice was not signed by him, it is, however, official.
The letter written is for John Dege, meaning that they've written a letter for me and they sign on my behalf, so that's all okay. And I've just authenticated the signature. That's one of my senior officers' signature. So long as the health inspectors provide us with information concerning houses and properties within their jurisdiction, if they consider that those properties are not suitable and if they condemn those properties, then we have no choice but to exercise their recommendations. So that's the position. But in the meantime, the tenants can be able to remain in those properties until we verify the reports from the National Capital District Commission before we can take any actions.
Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Supplying water to Mount Hagen City has been a real challenge for Water PNG because of people's attitude and landowner demands. Water PNG's Business Centre Manager for Mount Hagen, Eliud Mayarom, told EMTV News that they are still using a 30-year-old system, and for the last 10 years, water has been supplied to the city without a reservoir. Illegal water connection is a real problem which they have to deal with every day.
Mount Hagen has always been a difficult center to manage and run for the service provider because of one main factor.
Mount Hagen is there's a lot of illegal connections, stealing of water. And I don't know, we have too many churches in Mount Hagen, yet there's a lot of water stealing compared to Ley, Medang, Wewak, Hagen. There's a lot of water stealing, and we are
Water PNG has been pumping surface water from Kum River a few kilometers outside Mount Hagen City to supply water to the city. In a day, the city demands 5,000 to 6,000 kiloliters of water, a demand which these pumps at times cannot cater for, since the system only uses direct pumping after landowner disagreements.
People who understand, communities who understand, but often when we try to disconnect some of these people, especially in the local setting, our staffs are harassed unnecessarily when they're only doing their job honestly without fear and favor.
However, for the past 10 years, the service provider has managed to provide the service to its customers. Despite these challenges, PNG's treatment plant here at Rugby, including most of its main pipes in the city, were built 30 years ago. Back then, Water PNG had 5,000 customers. However, over the years, this number has decreased due to customers not paying their outstanding bills and Water PNG doing disconnections, causing customers to do illegal connections. Management in Mount Hagen has asked customers to respect the law by assisting the service provider.
Now that with all these demands, with Kakamuga New Airport and a lot of developments coming up, we need to improve our services.
Michelle Amba, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Water PNG has urged customers in Mount Hagen to pay their water bills. Eliud Mayarom said water is an essential part of life, and to help the operations of the organization, customers have to be responsible. He said ignorance has been one main hindrance in the city, the main cause of water disconnections, and people are doing illegal connections.
Pay for their bills, and I would appeal to all Papua New Guineans living in Mount Hagen, including those who are using the services, that we are all paying for these bills and we need to be honest to pay for our bills. It's not nothing free. PNG provides water for 30 days. You don't pay for it. And they only ask for you the next month to pay for it.
Yangoru Sausia in East Sepik is the first district in Papua New Guinea where Water PNG has installed a packaged water treatment plant. This announcement was made known by Water PNG project engineer Rachel Ivai. This is part and parcel of the Yangoru Town Water Supply Project, which will connect water to households in the electorate. Fabian Hakelitz files this report from WIWAC.
Now, the national government and Water PNG has jointly funded the Yangoru Town water supply at a cost of 6 million kina. And Yangoru South has become the first in Papua New Guinea where the plant water treatment plant has been installed. Project engineer Rachel Ivai told EMTV News the system was tested last year and operating well.
The project consists of 2 submersible pumps from the source behind us, Hambelia. We have a raw water tank, 45,000 kiloliters, a packaged water treatment plant, and a 1 megaliter reservoir, storage for treated water. The packaged water treatment plant, which I can proudly say is the first installation within the country.
Local MP Richard Maru says water and sanitation is important in health, and Yangoru South's plan is to promote hygiene and good health practice within the communities.
And other projects. Without water, as we all know, people cannot live. Life will be very unpleasant, and this town will never grow and develop. This is a very necessary project that will provide a co-infrastructure to bring the mobile barracks and other projects into the district, including our new district headquarters.
96 wards in the electorate will benefit after 40 years of struggle. The national government was thanked for investing in a healthy concept that promotes clean, safe water.
We are putting in septic tanks as well, because we know the water supply is coming through. And one day soon, I believe, under the current leadership of Honorable Richard Maru, an amazing leader we have for this part of the country, I know that we are going to have a sewage system as well.
Now, after positive outcomes from the awareness conducted, Water PNG's focus now is to connect water to all houses. And this project is expected to be completed by April this year. In WIWAC, East Sepik Province, Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
There will be no free handouts in the Yangoru South electorate. Local MP Richard Maru has warned the local people that no government services will be brought into their communities unless commitment and ownership is shown. Speaking at Yobomuno in West Yangoru, Mr. Maru said the free handout culture has made people lazy and prevented them from working hard to achieve their goals in life. Maru says this year, development will focus on buki, on roads, water supply, schools and teachers' houses.
So you are a responsible community. Then you ask me to come and see machine kind of work.
You're watching National EMTV News. Among stories after the break, PNGDF signs agreement to purchase new aircraft, a new deal also for pilots and engineers, and water users in NCD warned not to be reckless. Stay tuned for the details. Welcome back to the news. The Papua New Guinea Defence Force has signed an $18 million deal equivalent to 52 million kina for the manufacturing of its 6 new military aircraft. These aircraft will be used for border patrols and security during the upcoming 2017 national elections and the 2018 APEC summit. Eric Haurupma with this report.
After years of negotiations by the PNGDF to enhance its military capacity through logistics and support, today was the moment. PNGDF military and Navy officials in higher ranks gathered this morning at the PNGDF headquarters in Port Moresby to witness the signing. The instruments were signed between PNGDF, PNG Central Supply and Tenders Board and the Pacific Aerospace Limited based in New Zealand for the purchase of 6 new aircrafts. PNGDF Commander Brigadier General Gilbert Toropo said the deal will benefit the PNG Defence Force.
This capability that we've signed is a capability that will comprehensively enhance not only PNG Defence Force but also assist the government to roll out its programs and also assist our people throughout the country.
Under this deal, PNGDF will receive 6 utility planes, 2 CT4 model and 4 PAC 750 models similar to the one shown here.
And
as we all know, PNG has a challenging environment, especially geographically, and some of the areas in PNG can only be accessible by small aircrafts. And PEC 750 will play a significant role in the assistance to roll out some of the important government programs initiated, and it's been rolling out over the years.
He said these aircrafts will be used to conduct border patrols, maritime surveillance and support PNGDF during upcoming major events like the 2017 general elections and the 2018 APEC summit. Speaking during the event, Commander Toropo added that this agreement marks the strong ties between PNG and New Zealand in terms of military support and assistance.
This is just the signing. I think the more important stuff comes after this, which is building the aircraft, getting the training underway and delivering the capability. We'll have the first aircraft delivered well before the end of this year.
These compatible aircrafts are similar to those commercial aircraft servicing rural areas in Papua New Guinea. One of these aircrafts is expected to be brought into PNG by the end of this year. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
Pilots and aircraft engineers in Papua New Guinea will now be able to take licensing exams in the country with the opening of an e-center at the Civil Aviation Safety Authority. Apart from ensuring fast turnaround of results, a key benefit of the e-center will ensure the aviation industry in Papua New Guinea will be able to produce licenses which are recognized, accepted and transferable worldwide.
Wilson Sagati, CEO of CASA, said a significant benefit will be financial savings.
The biggest benefit is that our Papua New Guineans don't need to go to Australia, don't need to spend money to travel to Australia, because that's a significant cost for them, particularly in terms of getting licensed.
The e-center was officially opened today by the Civil Aviation Minister, Davis Stephen, who said this is one of the many small but significant milestones that has happened within the industry in recent times.
In the aviation sector, we are promoting the use of technology across the value chain. We believe this will enable PNG with its vision to be a Pacific hub, to continue to deliver seamless and customer-centered services.
An industry representative, Captain Samuel Taufa of New Guinea, said this is a definite boost to the industry.
And having the international standards of Australia and New Zealand being examined and brought, those standards being brought to Papua New Guinea elevates the system of safety as well, which was, I guess, in question on a recent audit a couple of years ago, but CASA PNG have taken great strides in moving and advancing the industry forward. So
he said the fast turnaround of results, which will be within an hour of an exam ending, is welcome news.
Having gone through the exams myself, I had to wait 3 weeks before I got my results. And for 3 weeks, that's a bit nerve-wracking on whether you passed or not. And if you failed, you had to go back again in 2 months, back down to Australia again.
With the results, the exam candidates will also receive what is called a knowledge deficiency report, which can be used to better prepare for other exams. The supplier of this electronic exam system is a company called ASPAC, based in New Zealand, which was represented today by General Manager Bob Brownlee. For now, the e-center can only cater for aircraft maintenance engineering exams, with definite plans to include pilots' exams in the near future. Discussions are underway to include air traffic exams under this arrangement. Mr. Sagati said it took nearly a year from initial planning to the launch of this e-center, and CASA spent around 80,000 New Zealand dollars. The first lot of candidates set for their exams yesterday.
It's something that we can tap on as a stepping stone for building, further success onto it. So, yeah.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Climate Change and Development Authority Acting Managing Director Joe Pokana says the country does not have basic instruments to measure greenhouse gases. However, large areas of the forest cover means the country is contributing to the reduction of these harmful gases.
Papua New Guinea is vulnerable to climate change, and yet the country has limited capacity to deal with it. Being the third largest forest cover in the world, experts say it helps to absorb carbon dioxide instead of contributing to. But in country, there are yet more challenges to meet. Some factories and companies that contribute to greenhouse gases into the atmosphere have not really understood the requirements they should abide by and report on.
We want to build the capacity of those sectors so they understand what should we be reporting. This is the gas that we have to reporting. Do we have the instrument to measure them? No. Okay. Let's find the measurement instrument to measure them so that we can be able.
With the Climate Change Management Act, it will help authorities to come up with regulations which they can use to collect data and report accordingly. Today, more than 30 participants came from different sectors, both government and private, attended the Climate Change Inception Workshop. The workshop aims to introduce stakeholders to the requirements of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which PNG must report on.
That the UNFCCC has agreed that countries should do. It's called the biannual update report. It's a more frequent reporting of the mitigation part of the environmental report.
Last year, PNG adopted the Paris Agreement, which will be ratified this year. Quinten Alom, National EMTV News.
Eda Ranu's managing director is concerned that Port Moresby residents have become reckless with the use of water, assuming the continuous rainfall has meant an improvement in Sirinomo Dam's water levels. Henry Mokono said people shouldn't be misled by current weather patterns, as there have not been any drastic changes to the reservoir's volume as yet. The public is strongly urged once again to remain vigilant about water usage in order to maintain a steady water reserve at least until the El Nino passes.
The dam's water level has in fact remained unchanged and below the full spill level for up to a week. Historical patterns observed by Eda Ranu suggest that the dam requires at least 2 months of rainfall for there to be any significant changes in its volume. Mokono presented the current statistics at today's press conference, advising the public not to take the recent rainfall as a reason to misuse water.
According to the statistics here, is at about 100.2 million cubic meters of water at the dam. That's about 29.4% of the total capacity of about 340 million cubic meters of water.
The Water and Sewerage Authority, however, is being careful not to take for granted that these statistics are totally reliable at this stage. Taking into account factors such as the buildup of sediment over the years, evident by the appearance of islands in the dam, the water level may in fact be exaggerated to some extent.
The dam is so big that it really needs to be dredged or something. So again, it's another issue that's why we need to play cautious on this one.
Mr. Mokono said Eda Ranu would continue its water rationing program as usual as a precautionary measure.
Maintain, around about 155 million liters per day. But the usual for Eda Ranu, if we didn't do that, it would be around about 175. So we have significantly dropped it by 20, and we are steady. We've been steady since November when we first started the water rationing.
The management has released this appeal in the hope that people will adhere. If worse comes to worst, the management may be forced to take drastic legal actions against residents who use water irresponsibly. Melissa Gaviro, National EMTV News.
In the wake of Tropical Cyclone Winston, Fiji now has a massive cleanup at hand. Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama has confirmed that schools damaged in worst-stricken areas as a result of the cyclone will be closed for 2 weeks for recovery. The death toll as of earlier today has reached 29.
After harsh winds and torrential rain swept through the small island nation, Fiji now clearly has a lot of cleaning up and rebuilding to do. Aid agencies have warned of a widespread health crisis, particularly in low-lying areas where thousands of Fiji's 900,000 people live in tin shacks after crops were wiped out and freshwater supplies blocked. Meanwhile, Fiji's Consumer Council has urged traders not to sell food and other perishable items that have gone bad due to the effects of the storm. Among other relief aid going into the devastated nation, New Zealand News Tip reported a New Zealand Army Hercules C-130 was on its way to Fiji earlier in the day, with 12 tons of aid supplies and an interagency team that will help assess damages caused by the storm. Banks, ANZ and Westpac have also given their support in relief supplies as well as financial support. Lorraine Gabina, EMTV World News.
Westpac Bank today announced it will provide more than 153,000 Fijian dollars to Fiji Red Cross to support disaster-affected areas. Also assisting in relief efforts is the ANZ Bank. The ANZ Bank announced an assistance package for customers in Fiji following the devastation of Tropical Cyclone Winston, as well as a donation of 100,000 Australian dollars to the Red Cross Cyclone Winston appeal.
The assistance package includes a suspension of all home loan, personal loan and small loan repayments for 60 days, suspension of all banking facility repayments to commercial customers on request for an agreed period of time, temporary adjustments to lending limits, waiver of fees associated with replacement of damaged FPOS terminals, waiver of all fees for international money transfers via internet banking from Australia and New Zealand into Fiji until the 31st of March 2016. Meanwhile, most branches open as usual across Fiji's network of 14 branches. Mr. Mohan said ATM and FPOS networks are steadily getting back online, while the rest are expected to return to normal once electricity supply is restored across the country. Melissa Gaviro, National EMTV News.
Low world oil prices over the last 12 months have been the most challenging for many global companies, and it is no different in Papua New Guinea, with Oil Search Limited recording a drop in its core profits in 2015. Its managing director Peter Botten announced the results today, with the company posting a core profit of $359.9 million, or about 1.1 billion kina, a 25% drop from 2014 results. Botten said a positive for the company were its production levels, with its operations achieving production of 29.25 million barrels of oil equivalent, the highest levels in the company's 80-year history.
We're also carrying out a range of other drilling activities to look at the gas resources around the country, at Muruk, Barakiwa, and some of our other smaller gas fields that could underwrite gas development locally within Papua New Guinea, as well as helping the expansion activities for PNG LNG and Papua LNG. Continue to work hard to deliver the value for the organisation, and we are in an unprecedented position to drive further growth in the organisation. We need to be lean, mean and a bit hungry. We need to be focused on the kina and the dollars, but overall our future remains bright.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged $0.3290 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3215 US, $0.4416 Australian dollars, $0.2884 euro, and 36.05 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee and cocoa closed higher, while copper closed the day lower. Palm oil and crude oil closed lower, while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed at 229 points higher, the ASX closed 21 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed 17 points higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Lae's ongoing problems of homebrew extends far beyond the production, sale and consumption of illegal liquor. The problem concerns socio-economic areas such as the country's unemployment rate and the lack of business opportunities for Papua New Guineans. Bethany Herman with this report.
In lay communities, settlements like Nawai, Boundary Road and the Back Road area, people continue to produce homebrewed alcohol commonly known as steam for consumption and sale. Despite steam being a contributing factor to rapes, murders and violence against women, an increasing number of women are brewing it to sell for money.
So what is the solution to that? One of them as a businesswoman is create employment for them. If you cannot create employment, then create opportunities for them to create wealth for themselves.
Lay Central Police Station records almost 9 out of 10 cases directly related to homebrew consumption. It's an everyday occurrence. On Friday, a mother of two was caught by Lay police selling steam at Kamkumung. She told police she needed to pay for school fees and food. Last week, a mother of four raped and killed by men allegedly high on steam and marijuana.
Let's start with our children. At the dinner tables, at the fireplaces, right? Men need to show responsibility, not hit their women, not blame their women in front of their sons, because the sons are just going to emulate their fathers.
Violence against women advocate and lay businesswoman Sarah Howder Todd says it's an economic problem that needs to be addressed by all levels of government and within family units. She supports a campaign called Women Arise that aims to remove all forms of violence against women. They held a champions walk on Sunday to bring attention to the issue.
And it's about, Bethany, it's about prevention and not cure. A lot of money has been pumped into organizations, and I'm not saying that's bad. I think it's timely because so many people are suffering and they have nowhere to go.
Yesterday, Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Bulolo MP Sem Basil, who also has similar problems in his district, said the homebrew problem is a task that should be shared by national government bodies.
Narcotics Board is not performing its functions, and one of its functions is to look at rehabilitation of drunkards and also to make sure that homebrew product is being minimized by working together with liquor licensing boards and provincial governments and SP Brewery for that instance.
Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lay.
The Lay Metropolitan Command and the Lay City Council have combined their resources to bring back police foot patrols within Lay City. The officers, together with the Lay City Policing Unit and the City Council security guards, have been placed in one unit with a commander. These officers will carry out general policing as well as reinforcing the local level government's laws.
The combined foot patrols will increase the manpower on the streets from 8 to 80. These officers will report to one commander so that there will be better coordination. These officers will be stationed in various locations in the city, especially the main bus stops, market area and the main shopping center in town. The aim of the foot patrol is to assist police deter both the petty and serious crime from happening in the city, and also to assist other police units like the task force to cut down on the amount of work they have to do so that they can concentrate on other policing duties.
When there's less police visibility, you'll find that they have armed robberies, things like that. But when there's police visibility, it's a deterrent as well.
The foot patrol is part of the Lay Metropolitan Command's new plans for the city. The city will be divided into 4 patrol zones with support units to support the suburban stations. The new plan will increase police presence and reduce response time. The foot patrol is one of the long-term solutions taken by the local level government to address the issue of street vending and petty crimes in the city. Last year, Moresby youth staged a protest march to crack down on street vending and petty crimes in the city. The protesters, in a 3-page petition, demanded the provincial government to crack down on street vendors who have been named as major contributors to the rise in petty crimes in Lay.
And this is one of the demands where they needed police presence in all the hotspots in the city, and that program has been launched today as part of that one of those demands.
Mata Lewis, National EMTV News, Lay.
Senior Magistrate Cosmas Bidar adjourned 2 cases at the Waigani Committal Court involving the improper use of ICT services. These cases involved a woman who sent obscene text messages to a teenager and another who uploaded obscene photos onto social media. Both are separate cases which occurred last year.
The court held that under the new National Information and Communication Technology Act, NICTA officers are supposed to prosecute the offences. However, Senior Magistrate Cosmos Bidar said at the moment it is not clear on whether the police, public prosecutor or NICTA officers will be prosecuting these cases. The two women who appeared for mention were Macy Likita and Maureen Agaivi. Likita was alleged to have sent obscene text messages to a 16-year-old girl following a family argument in August 2015. She had failed to appear in court on a number of hearings and was arrested upon a return from Australia, while Agaivi was accused of uploading nude pictures on social media in September 2015. Both were charged under Section 266 of the NICTA Act for the improper use of ICT services. They were told the court could not hear their case because of the change in the new act, and their cases adjourned to next month. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. We'll have the details when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Hakatau Tai is a group of men who represent the Tasman, Feed Islands and Motlo Group of Islands in the autonomous region of Bougainville. Their work doesn't just stop at scoring tries and registering victories on the field. They stand for a cause, something so close to their homes. The Motlo Groups of Islands are currently under threat due to the rising sea levels and warming effects of global warming. Through rugby, these young men wish to spread their awareness far and wide on something happening along our coastal waters.
In 2007, it was reported that the estimated 2,000 Papua New Guineans living within the Carteret Islands of the autonomous region of Bougainville could very well be the world's first climate change refugees. And as the years progress, this is easily becoming a reality. While many have launched community development plans to develop positive projects that will benefit the people of the Motlo Group of Islands, Hakatau Tai stands alone as the only team using rugby to drive the importance and awareness of global warming.
We're playing for people. We have this, the global warming thing, and Hakatau Tai especially, it's like a team where we form to, to spread the message to the people that our island is, global affected by the global warming. So basically, that's what we are playing for. We're playing for our people back at home.
While spreading awareness on the effects of global warming, the concept of Hakatau Tai also provides an avenue for young men in the islands to showcase their talent, eventually becoming a potential feeder club into the national team.
Touchcom, that used to happen at the Unagi Aval, and then a lot of our boys from Hakatau Tai, they don't play the contact sports, so Kifa decided to form the Hakatau Tai team, and so he collected those. He saw there was potentials and for these boys, so he collected them and formed Hakatau Tai.
The team has been around since 2014 and will continue to feature in rugby tournaments nationwide as they strive to create and build masters within their communities.
Hakatau Tai means the making of it's like in our talk place Motlok, it's like the fishermen. When you're a fisherman, you're a tautai. So the making of, but this we use it in sports, so that's, the making of a sportsman.
Lorraine Genia, National EMTV Sports.
PNG 7-star Butler Morris will depart from the national Puk-Puk side to join the Lace-Nax Tigers after he was reportedly offered a lucrative deal. Morris has easily been the Puk-Puk's key player, particularly in the backline, and played an integral part in the team's journey to qualifying for the Hong Kong Sevens for the first time in 10 years. While his departure leaves a blank in the team, national coach Douglas Guys believes there is enough talent out there to fill in his shoes.
Snax Tigers, I think so. We wish him all the best, and I think they've got a few trial matches coming up, so he's looking forward to that, I think so. Yeah, but like I've been telling the boys ever since I've been the coach, I'm always out looking for new talent as well, so nobody's place is ever safe in the team, so yeah, we should be able to cover him.
To the NRL now, and the Canberra Raiders confirmed today the resigning of 26-year-old English hooker Josh Hodgson. Hodgson made a 2-year contract extension with the Raiders following a successful debut in the 2015 NRL season after being considered as one of the NRL's best buys. His resigning follows a number of recent big re-signings, including promising fullback Jack Whiten, prop Shannon Boyd, Josh Papali and Joey Leilua. The Raiders start the season at home on March the 5th against the Penrith Panthers. Trukai Sports continues with NSL and preparations for the Women's Under-20 World Cup. That's after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To football now, and Rapatona will go head-to-head against an undefeated Hekari team for the 4th time this season. Rapatona has been the nearest side in the Southern Conference to put Hekari under pressure and are expected to do more of the same tomorrow at the Bissini grounds.
Rapatona will find himself up against the Southern Confederate front-runners and 9 times NSL champion Hekari United in the final series of the Southern Zone Conference this Wednesday. The last time these two sides met in round 2, Hekari showed their class over the newcomers with a comfortable 4-0 victory over Rapatona. The Reds defender turned striker Korea Kupaiga was the man of the moment, with a hat-trick to impress his coach and set the pace as he went on a goal-scoring spree in the following matches. Rapatona, however, took a valuable lesson from the match. Despite conceding 4 goals from Hekari, they were able to hold off a number of goal attempts by the Reds, and at times testing Hekari's goal mouth, which coach Michael Foster saw as a positive sign for the team moving forward. In round 7, Rapatona was on a mission to settle the score from their past encounter with Hekari, and the rumor of Captain Michael Foster's mid-season transfer to the Lay City Dwellers was hard on the side. They were in for a tough encounter, leaving coach Max Foster fully stretched in getting his side focused on the game. Hekari, on the other hand, were not as comfortable despite winning all their round matches. They were lurking in goal-scoring opportunities given the chance in every match, and that is one thing coach Jerry Allen has been stressing on his side. However, Korea Kupaiga remains Hekari's lethal striking weapon, registering 19 goals in his tally out of 40 goals scored for Hekari. Hekari saw the return of lone striker Tommy Sami, who led the charge, but Rapatona contained the Reds' attacking force, narrowing their defense to Sami, keeping him occupied all afternoon. But Sami couldn't find a clear angle to unleash a shot at goal. Koryak, however, lurking in on the left side of the field, caught Rapatona unmarked to find the back of the net. Rapatona fought back valiantly to equalize the scores to 1-1, but Hekari showed their supremacy once again with a late goal to snatch close win over Rapatona. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
PNG head coach Lisa Cole is happy with the work of the PNG Under-20 women's squad and is excited about the prospect of the team having had a number of training matches together. Focus is still on technical ability and fitness at the moment. However, Cole is satisfied with the efforts of the players. She made these statements recently at the team's training base at the National Sports Institute in Goroka.
I don't think it'll be hard to select. I hope they make it difficult. I hope they put the effort in. At this time, we do have a little bit of a gap of players that have had more experience. Maybe they've been in with the full team and are just a little bit ahead physically in their development and where they are with their fitness. But we'll give some players some time to catch up in those areas and then see what they do as far as their soccer, and we'll go from there.
And that ends True Kai Sports. We'll have for you the weather details after the break.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, Daru, Kerama, Alotau and Popondetta, fine weather. The Momase region, fine in Ley and Wau. Some showers expected in Madang and Vanimo and showers in Wewak. To the New Guinea Islands region, showers expected in Lorengau and fine elsewhere. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, you can expect cloudy weather over the next 24 hours. Before we go, recapping our main stories for tonight. 8 staff of the Ombudsman Commission received titles and keys to new homes. The Papua New Guinea Defence Force purchases 6 new aircraft to boost capacity. And Eda Ranu warns Port Moresby residents not to be reckless with water. And that has been the news, sports and weather for tonight, the 23rd of February 2016. On behalf of the EMTV News team, I'm Meribotule. Pleasant viewing. Good night.